I suppose, Leo, in the context of these two teams going in, yourselves and Lyon going in, enjoying good form, albeit where they lost yesterday, you would be looking at this from the point of view of getting something out of this fixture. A win would be a real bonus, but a bonus point would be probably enough in the long run.
Yeah, well, I think you're always trying to stay in control of your destiny in the pool. All throughout the campaign, campaigns over the 20 years or so. Like, it's when you start to fall behind your pool, things become difficult because you're always trying to figure out all the different permutations. Where if you can ensure that obviously we get a win here, the likelihood is we're still top of the pool. Obviously Northampton will be playing in Treviso, and we'll see how that game goes. If you pick up an away win, then you're just trying to pick up all your home wins and making sure you're supporting for all the other home teams that they keep winning, and then that means you keep your nose in front of the rest. So yeah, there's for us, we've tried to focus on getting a little bit better off the back of last week. We've watched a lot of Lyon over the start of the season. The top 14 played a good few rounds before the other leagues got going. So, and Lyon are the team that are not really affected that much as well by the World Cup. They've had a few guys away with the World Cup, but they've a big squad of players, very heavily resourced team, and they recruit very smartly because they've got the mix of really top end young French players, but they've also got a very good sprinkling of players that have been around the top 14 for a long time, understand what it means to be competitive at the top end of that league. And you've seen they've just gradually improved under Pierre Mignoni. I actually randomly met a couple of Lyon players during the course of last season, and they were very complimentary of the environment over there, and him as a coach, and so they're a team. Yeah, maybe a lot of people wouldn't know that much about. They weren't fantastic in the pool stage last year, but I think very much early on they turned their attention back to the top 14, making the playoffs, making sure that they're progressing there. But again, they made some additions to their squad this year. They look more dangerous again. And even though they got beaten by Northampton at the weekend, I still thought there's glimpses of there's a serious team here. So for us, we'll be scrambling to try and get every single point we can, depending on how the game is going. I think that's the important thing to understand. If the game's going well, obviously we're trying to win and we're trying to score 4 tries and all those things. But if you find ourselves in a bit of a hole, sometimes it's about trying to get as much as you possibly can out of the game. So it really depends on how the game unfolds.
Yeah, for sure, trying to manage that situation. You mentioned a couple of things of real interest that the general public in Ireland may not know an awful lot about this Lyon team. What for you makes them quite as dangerous a prospect as they are actually proving?
Well, I think someone like Pierre Mignoni is their head coach, who has a lot of European experience himself with Clermont and Toulon as a player. Obviously now he's coaching Lyon, so they're a very heavily resourced team. So they've a deep squad with tons of experience all throughout. So they've got that mix of power and ball playing ability as well. Very good halfbacks. Wisniewski's been in top 14 a long time. Cuyo is one of the really good young players. Pelissier is another 9 that's been around the top 14 for a while, has plenty of experience, still relatively young. Charlie Natsai, who's an All Black, who pulls the strings for them as a 12. Very, very good player. A couple of very good French players, Regard, Barassi at 13, whoever plays. Their wingers, Tuisova, I think a lot of people have seen a lot of him with Toulon in recent seasons. Such a dangerous attacker, so strong physically. You see him away at the World Cup with Fiji. Nakatasi, who's played with France, and a lot of people would have seen some of the tries he scored, probably more with Clermont over the years. They've added well to their forwards this year as well. Brought in a bit of power there. Scrum was probably something that was creaking a little bit. They brought in Chocky, who was from Toulon again. A lot of top end experience that he has. So, it's going to be a real handful for us.
When you outline it like that, it actually does sound like quite a handful. I suppose the top 2 things that you have to do going down there, what are they?
I think it's making sure that we control the environment. We played away in France in round two last season, and we don't start the game particularly well. So we're a little bit loose in terms of when we have possession of the ball, and we turn the ball over a little bit cheaply. We're a little bit inaccurate around some of the clean out, which feeds the team. So the home team. So it was Toulouse last year. So if we do the same again, we'll be feeding the home team, being Lyon, and the crowd get the lift off that, and you can see them come alive off the back of the crowd. You see it in the top 14 all the time, and we've had so much experience of going down to France in Europe and understanding what that's like. So it's trying to silence the crowd by making sure that we're nice in control at the start of the game, and then we just want to be able to try and impose our game on the opposition. Then, so as the game goes on, we want to play the way we want to try and play, which is pretty up-tempo game and making sure we're moving the point of attack the whole time and stressing the defence. And then obviously when Lyon have the ball, we're trying to put maximum pressure on them the whole time with our defensive system. So how do we really pressurise their attack with our defence? So, but I think the start is the crucial bit, and then it's how do we actually try and impose our game.
Leo, you mentioned the crowd and the atmosphere there, and obviously it can be really challenging at times. But even though the squad have so much experience of playing in intimidating environments, does it still need to be addressed this week?
We played in Lyon, you see, in the semi-final against Clermont, and it was just a sea of yellow. Well, there was plenty of blue there as well, but it was certainly 85-15% in Clermont's favour. So there's that. The players have a good handle on what that was like. I think it really hit them like a wow, Toulouse, and we had shown some images maybe of Toulouse as well. I think we showed some images of Toulouse after the game and what it meant to that group to beat us on the day, and you were like, wow, we got caught here, we got caught. It's very much at the forefront of our minds. Obviously, a hell of a lot's gone on since round two last season. It's a brilliant challenge. Going away to France is always fantastic. It really does test you, tests everything about you, because if you get too sidetracked by what's going on, with all the noise and the crowd and all those bits, it's making sure we're very focused on our jobs and what we need to do.